King Harris didn't just fall apart in that courtroom, he shook the entire image of hip-hop royalty right in front of flashing cameras and millions watching online. Picture it, the son of T.I., the man who crowned himself the King of the South, standing in front of a judge with the confidence of someone who thought fame could protect him. Then the gavel slammed. Not probation, not community service, not even a short sentence. 5 full years in prison. The silence that followed was louder than any rap beef, and the whispers carried more weight than any diss track. When King's knees buckled, it wasn't just a young man collapsing, it was a dynasty cracking in real time. But here's the question that still hangs in the air: was this really about King Harris making reckless choices, or was it something bigger? Some believe it was a message, sent not just to King, but to his father, to Atlanta, maybe even to hip-hop culture itself. Because if you think this was only about one kid's mistakes, you're not paying attention. People close to the case whisper about power plays, backroom deals, and old grudges resurfacing at the perfect moment. Which makes you wonder, was King punished, or was he sacrificed? To understand how we got here, you have to rewind. This wasn't a sudden fall. King had been running toward chaos for years. From the Instagram lives where he flashed stacks of money bigger than rent checks, to the cocky claims that nobody could touch him, he built a reputation on being untouchable. Those weren't just posts for clout, they were warnings. His own family reportedly tried to check him, but King thrived on rebellion. He didn't want to live in his father's shadow. He wanted to prove he was his own man, someone above rules. And yet, the very system he mocked showed him how wrong he was. King wasn't just another celebrity kid enjoying the perks of fame. He turned luxury into his personality, designer outfits, diamond chains, wild parties in Atlanta that always seemed to end with drama. While other kids his age were stressing over college applications or part-time jobs, King was starring in viral clips of fights and shouting matches. Each scandal stacked up, and by the time he stood before that judge, the pattern was clear. Still, this wasn't just about King. The Harris name carried weight, and every misstep was tied back to the family empire. When news broke of his arrest, headlines didn't read "Young man makes mistakes." They read T.I.'s son facing prison. That's why the courtroom was packed, journalists, bloggers, and industry insiders all waiting for the empire to take a hit. And when the sentence was announced, the damage was instant. 5 years. The courtroom froze. Gasps filled the room. For a split second, the bravado disappeared. King wasn't the son of a rap legend anymore. He was just a 20-year-old staring at years behind bars. But was the fall genuine, or was it staged? That's where the rumors kick in. Insiders claim King had been under surveillance for months. Wiretaps, hidden cameras, even people in his circle feeding information. It didn't feel like justice, it felt like a setup. The timing was too perfect, the cameras too ready. Some fans called it consequences, others called it a conspiracy. Social media lit up with memes, side-by-side photos of T.I. wearing a crown and King in handcuffs. Savage captions like, "From King of the South to King of the Cell." And then there was T.I. himself. The man who had survived federal charges, industry beefs, and public scandals suddenly looked powerless. Witnesses said his face went pale as the gavel came down. Sweat on his forehead. No quick comeback, no clever quote. For the first time, the King couldn't protect his bloodline. That image, T.I. watching his son collapse, was almost as viral as King's sentencing. The deeper whispers are even darker. Some say the arrest wasn't just about King, it was bait. A sting meant to rattle T.I., to shake the empire, and see what secrets spilled out. Anonymous leaks hinted at sealed documents and investigations that stretched beyond King. If true, the 5-year sentence was only Act 1. The fallout was immediate. Business deals vanished overnight. A liquor endorsement quietly disappeared. A planned documentary got shelved. Industry executives didn't want to risk their brand being tied to the Harris name. As one insider put it, scandal spreads like poison. If more dirt surfaced, anyone connected to the family could sink too. At home, things weren't any calmer. Sources claimed arguments erupted between T.I. and Tiny after the sentencing. Tiny wanted to fight hard, to appeal right away, but T.I. allegedly hesitated. Why? Some believe he feared that digging deeper would expose more ugly truths, not just about King, but about the empire itself. Imagine being a father caught between saving your son and protecting everything you've built. That's not just pressure, that's torture. Meanwhile, the internet kept shaping the narrative. A distorted audio clip surfaced online, supposedly King yelling during his arrest, "You can't touch me, I'm a Harris." Real or fake, it didn't matter. It fueled the story that King was arrogant and entitled. Public opinion shifted fast. Suddenly, people weren't treating him like a victim of the system, they were treating him like the spoiled son of rap royalty, who thought he was above the law. And that hit T.I. harder than anything else. Because here's the truth, in the world of hip-hop and fame, perception often matters more than facts. Whether King was set up, whether rivals or politicians had a hand in his downfall, the damage is already done. His collapse wasn't just personal, it was public, and it dragged the entire Harris name into the fire. And now, everyone is asking the same question: if King was just the pawn, then who's really the king they are coming after? When King Harris collapsed in that courtroom, it wasn't just a shocking moment for him, it was a blow that rippled across his entire family's legacy. Fans had fought hard to defend him, but sympathy didn't last long. Suddenly, King wasn't seen as a victim of bad luck or unfair treatment. Instead, people began to view him as living proof that the Harris dynasty believed it was untouchable. But here's where things get even heavier. According to whispers, King's sentence was never the real focus. Rumors suggested prosecutors had bigger plans, with their eyes locked on T.I. himself, his finances, his businesses, and even his real estate deals. Leaked documents, though unverified, began spreading online. Screenshots showed millions in unexplained transfers linked to Harris-owned companies. One anonymous note simply read, "Follow the money." King was only the beginning. If that's true, then King's collapse wasn't the climax. It was just the spark. The streets picked up on the scent of blood. Rival crews allegedly started circling, emboldened by the family's sudden weakness. Unconfirmed reports of shady cars near T.I.'s homes and whispers of attempted break-ins began popping up on blogs. One anonymous DM summed it up: "When the king falls, the wolves come out." And sure enough, Atlanta's underground started buzzing with talk of retaliation and chaos. Even the music industry wasn't safe. A well-known rapper dropped a cryptic tweet, "One down, more to go." Fans instantly assumed it was about King. On a podcast, an Atlanta producer warned, "They are cleaning house. Anybody tied to that circle should be nervous." Those words spread like wildfire. Suddenly, this wasn't just the Harris family's scandal, it was framed as a purge of Atlanta's hip-hop scene. Meanwhile, T.I. himself looked like he was crumbling. The man who had always branded himself as resilient, the survivor of countless controversies, now appeared powerless. Sources claimed he reached out to old allies, calling in favors, trying to rebuild bridges. But bridges that burned years ago don't carry weight anymore. Even former friends reportedly kept their distance. As one insider put it, nobody wants to get dragged down with him. Leaks kept fueling the fire. A supposed witness list began circulating online, names blurred, details vague, but enough to spark panic. It allegedly included promoters, former managers, even security staff, all willing to testify if prosecutors went after T.I. One chilling line read, willing to confirm financial misconduct. Whether real or fake, it didn't matter, the panic was real. Soon, talk shifted from King's 5-year sentence to the possibility of federal investigations against T.I. himself. Reports claimed properties were under review, assets might be frozen, and sealed indictments were ready. If those whispers were even half true, then King wasn't the end, he was just the opening act in a much larger takedown. And that's why this moment feels bigger than one young man's downfall. It feels like the fall of an empire. The Harris name, once a symbol of strength and survival, now looked radioactive. What started as a courtroom collapse could end up reshaping Atlanta's hip-hop scene for years to come. So, the real question remains, was King Harris punished for his own reckless choices? Or was he just a pawn in a much larger game aimed at T.I.? Because 5 years in prison isn't just a sentence, it's a message. And if prosecutors are truly following the money, then the collapse of King Harris might have been only the first domino to fall.